There. Way. Since my phone just vibrated, I assume that means we're live. Hello, people. Let me just check. Twitch is working. Good. And let me check. YouTube says we're good. So, hello. How is everybody? I'm up. Yeah, how's everybody doing? Slight adjust the camera. Yay. Yeah, hello. How's everybody doing? Quality's good, thanks Ish. Yeah, hi Martin, glad you're on time for once. Hi Ish, hi Superuser, hi Mislav, hi Operative, if you're still here. I know you're here a tad early. Hi Prashanthan, hi Starman, hi Neil, hi Kev, and hello to everyone else who's joining that I may or may not catch. How's everybody? Take two. How's everybody doing this week? Anything interesting happening this week for you guys? I've got a few interesting things, but I'll let you go first. There's a few things that few news stories this week that might be interested in covering. I'm sure that they will be brought up in the chat, but one of which was an article on TechteamGB, a PC gamer, talking about the new NVIDIA graphics cards and their potential launch date. So yeah, that'll be interesting. What's something else? I'm sure we'll chat about it. Hello Roger, how you doing? Super user, what processor are you installing? Martin, hoping to get my hands on the new Acer Predator X27 soon. Is that the 27-inch 1440p 165 hertz and G-Sync? That I don't keep up with the monitor names. Actual real sunshine again, I know, right? Hello F7, how you doing? You been up to anything interesting this week? Neil has been having fun with the HoloLens at work and trying to develop an app for it. Nice. What's the app gonna do for you? Martin, oh, okay, right, 4K 141st OLED. Okay, nice. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Wonder if they'll actually send me it. I'm guessing your crying laughing faces mean that you probably won't be actually getting your hands on it, or maybe you are, I don't know. Maxi X Real Sunshine or Movie Magic? Probably just some floodlights. It's actually quite, I mean, the camera corrects for it, but there's a really nice, like, golden glow over everything in here. It's pretty. Hello Aaron, how you doing? Where's my phone buzzing? Oh, I have friends apparently. Here. Super user AMD FX 8350 8-core in my son's PC. Ah, okay, right, nice. Fair play, fair play. Starman's waiting for Alexa to be incorporated into a PC. How come? So as someone who doesn't use any personal assistant type things like Alexa, Siri, Google Assistant, or Bixby, I don't quite, I guess, understand them. So what makes you want Alexa available on your PC? Is it because I can say, hey Alexa, order massive gummy bears, and it will do it? But you, oh yeah, Cortana, I forgot about that. Yeah, Cortana, a lot of the Windows 10 things, I've got a PowerShell script that just kills and uninstalls everything that it physically can, and anything that it can't uninstall, it like uninstalls the service that starts running them. So it's pretty good. So yeah, I don't have a lot of the stuff, let's say, that is normally on Windows. Although Cortana and what you call it, Alexa are now sort of semi-working together, so might be an option for you. Exactly. Oh, actually, Kev, did you see the did you see, or relating to Kev's note, but not necessarily to Kev, there was a news story this week talking about how the microphones on all of your smart devices, like the Alexa, device, or Echo, is it Echo? Anyway, those. All of those devices, all of the microphones are actually way more sensitive than you think. And so those microphones can actually pick up inaudible frequencies and actually still respond to commands even if they're in the inaudible frequencies. And so what was found was that you can have, say, your phone speaker projecting inaudible frequency commands to your Alexa, and it would still respond to it. And you can even get it so that the commands turn off the voice responses from your Alexa, so you wouldn't even know that it was actually, ordering stuff from you or whatever. But yeah, bit nuts. So the Starman to control RGB lighting, do my overclocking for me, read out temperatures and give alerts. I mean, fair play. That's on that's for Alexa, right? I mean, I guess RGB lighting possibly. I doubt that it would do overclocking for you, but I suppose reading out temperatures and giving alerts could be interesting. But yeah. As a OnePlus owner, what do you think of the OnePlus 6? It looks interesting. I am more than happy to stick with my 3T for now. It is still plenty fast enough. The battery still works just fine. Our battery life anyway is just fine. The dash charging is amazing and I love it. I'm very glad that it's USB Type-C as well. And really, I'm happy with a single camera. I really don't use it that much, and when I do, it's fine. And otherwise, it's the only real main upgrade I would probably see for going for the 6 is the OLED display versus the standard LCD that this is. I think it's IPS, but it's still 1080p, but obviously OLED means that it's if you want to check notifications, or if you have darker areas, or especially blacked off areas, you can save a little bit of power when your display is on and all that stuff. So yeah. It looks cool. If you're looking for a new phone, it could be interesting. Price is definitely going up though, which is a shame. I think I got mine for about £400, but now they're selling for over 500, I think. So yeah. Roger, I'll endeavour to find and make the script available to you. If you hit me up on Twitter or something, should be able to share it out for you. And yeah, Martin, or even on the Discord, actually, if you join the Discord, I'll throw that in the tech support chat tomorrow. Ish, the last category, yeah, right. Is it buffering? I know people mentioned some skip frames on Twitch. Is it buffering on YouTube completely? Is it working okay on Twitch? Or not? Check the dashboard. Okay for you? Okay. Maybe it must just be YouTube side. Twitch looks okay. Twitch says that the stream is excellent quality. You sure? Okay, cool. So yeah, Twitch is perfectly fine. Okay, cool. Let me jump up because I think I missed a few questions. I use Process Explorer to kill search.ui exe, but Windows keeps trying to restart Cortana. Yeah, rename Cortana, but the search function won't work. Yeah, so again, the PowerShell script disables actual Cortana, but leaves the search available. But I also use a program called everything.exe for actually finding anything that's actually of use to me, because the Windows search is so terrible. But yeah, everything.exe is really good. It's open source if I remember rightly as well, so yeah. Okay for me, but the mic did cut out a few times then. Okay. I like that you're carrying on with this conspiracy theory, MyCX. I just have shortcuts, no need for search. Yeah, but for things that install that don't provide shortcuts to then find them and stuff like that. God mode exe, yeah, heard of that one. Oh yeah, and OnePlus Notch. I don't know that I care that much, but it's something that I don't care that much that my phone has some bezels. Personally, it looks cool bezel-less, but it's not something that I care massively about. So yeah. Jumping back, so Graham Smith, is an SSD worth it? Yes, massively. I also use CCleaner, Aaron, as well. Neil, the theory is to show our products to customers instead of a presentation as possible training aids for assembly line guys. Hopefully to use Unity and Euphoria to recognize a product image and show an exploded view of the product. Nice, that sounds like an awesome awesome bit of kit. Alexa, overclock my GPU to 6 GHz. I have 3 GHz, I have 3 Echo Dots. I'll ask one if it can overclock my i7 past 4.2 GHz. Lol. Prashanthan, bro, the 8700 be a good choice for the B360 board. Also, does it need to be Coffee Lake? So yes, needs to be Coffee Lake, and yes, the 8700 would be fine. Daniel Grizz, you looking forward to seeing how Z390 differs from Z370, given that Z370 was a rush job and Z390 was the real McCoy for these Coffee Lake CPUs. So yes, I'm very interested to see what it has to offer. I'll be interested to see what they can really do to actually push these chips further, because they're clearly at a TDP power consumption limit right now, at least in terms of where they kind of want to sit those chips. I would say that the the boards themselves, in theory, should be a bit better and a bit more different, if you like. Potentially with a different socket to go with them. I don't know about that, but considering that the Z370 socket is the exact same pinout as Z270 and therefore Z170, barring that a couple of extra ground and power pins have been enabled. Yeah, they may want to move sockets, but yeah. Notch is like a bulge. Once I notice it, can't take my eyes off of it. See, speaking of bulges, the camera bulge, which is a thing, I thought that it would be a problem, but actually I don't really notice it that much, and like it's not had any extra damage or anything, so I'm generally pretty happy with that, so I would expect that I would get used to the notch as well, but yeah, I may notice it a little bit more. Is Rick in here? I know, right? He normally turns up a bit later. CasQ, what's the best keyboard right now? Cherry MX Red. So Reds, personally, I'm not a massive fan of Reds. I prefer browns, but a lot of it comes down to personal preference, the kind of position that they sit at, and that sort of thing, and you know, key feel, because otherwise, and obviously like the key layout. Because otherwise, you know, when you're talking about the actual key switches themselves, they're the same keyboards, so the same key switches, and therefore they have very similar typing feel on a, you know, Corsair Strafe to a what was that, Asus Claymore to a I was going to say Logitech, but they use Romer G's. You know, even to a semi knockoff, but still actually uses Cherry switches. You know, it's great. Browns for me, but I need more click and sound. And alright. MX Browns for the win. Good man, good man. I like the Razor Green. What's wrong with you? That's basically a NAF Cherry MX Blue, as some people. Samsung SSD for the win. I even noticed a faster boot from my Corsair SSD, saving for 1TB NVMe now. Nice. I actually finished a review of the 970 Evo new Samsung drive, so yeah, it's nice. I have correctly labeled folders, no need to search for stuff when all is in the right place. Yeah, but when stuff installs it's exe to app data or some crap like that, you can't find it, and you, especially when it's like, there'll be the program's shell company is the name that it's listed under that you've never heard of before, and then in that folder is the name of the actual program, and then under that there's, you know, bin, source, and lots of other folders that may or may not include the exe, so having something like everything.exe is very useful. So RootX is a Mac user. Feel free to judge him as much as you like. Starman, where is the GCX 1160? So that was, as I mentioned, the PC Gamer article. They were talking about how it's likely going to be available in July. I expect that they will announce the cards at Computex or at GTC, which is a day before Computex or something, which is end of this month, start of next month. Which is actually, funnily enough, what I said in my Should You Wait for Volta video, and everyone was like, oh no, they're coming out in May, or like, they're coming out in March or something, but it seems I may have been closer to right than I thought, but yeah, they'll be available probably then, and the leaked spec of it was 3,542 CUDA cores, I think, at a pretty similar clock speed. So if you are interested in one of those, compare that to a 1080. That's only, I think it's 2,560 CUDA cores. So a good step up in the number of cores, which generally just translates to more power, so, or more powerful cards. So it's effectively putting the 1180 where the 1080 Ti sits, or maybe even a little bit faster than the 1080 Ti. Could be interesting. Macs are the best as long as you don't care about the price or specs too much. Aaron, I used a Mac. I used to like Mac, but I was 11 and didn't know what Linux was. Oh. And lifespan due to heat. Yeah, Dan, what temperature does your processor and graphics card get to in that MacBook Pro of yours? Daniel Grizz, yes, I totally agree with you. The Nvidia has basically no reason to launch new cards. So yeah, why would they bother? That's why they've waited what 2.5, 3 years to launch or even think about launching anything new. Not because they didn't have them. They've had the Volta architecture for 2 or 3 years now in the enterprise space, and actually we're not even getting Volta as an architecture, we're getting Turing, which is we don't know if it's just a cut down Volta or whether it's a completely different architecture, which will be one of the first times that they'll have skewed to a consumer architecture and an enterprise architecture. MattTX, I would jump to Linux before I jump to Mac OS. And I would like to jump to Linux. I absolutely hate Windows. I despise the just disgusting control they have over my computer, and how much they can ruin my day very quickly by the system just randomly restarting with no prior warning or countdown or anything. And I have regularly lost work when it just starts closing programs and tries to restart. So I'm very much annoyed by that, and the invasiveness is really quite annoying. But for me, Linux just isn't user friendly enough and doesn't have enough support for kind of the key thing is games, really. But even things like the Adobe suite, I would kind of need that on there before I could switch. Dan, I could, but what would I use it for? Good laptop for music production. Anything with a relatively decent, relatively new quad-core CPU. Otherwise, you'd be fine. Music production really generally doesn't take that much. And you'd probably be more concerned with spending a bit more money on an external amp DAC unit. Yeah, ish, totally agree. Competition spurs innovation. Just need AMD to bring a couple more lines. Just a couple more lines. Just want to get my fix of AMD. Sniff. Nvidia must be quaking right now, or is that quacking with the way that the market may go in the backlash? What do you mean, Aaron? Hello, RJ. Kino Crypts, worth waiting for 1180. As I mentioned, they're likely coming out, being announced in June, available July, and they're potentially going to be a pretty significant jump up in performance. With the leaked specs, you're looking at a little bit more powerful than a 1080 Ti for 1080 money, so potentially. RJ, new computer up and running. Nice one. What was the spec again? Liam, new monitor. What do you think of the Dell 1440p 144? That's all you need to search on Amazon. Dell, is it? I'm guessing it's 27-inch. But yeah, it's probably pretty decent. I haven't used them personally, but yeah. 1080 launch money, hopefully. Yeah. Starman, that's terrible. It's MC, not MAC. At least for me, anyway. Aaron with GPP, Intel going for GPUs and Intel working on AMD things. Somewhat. I don't think Intel will ever really be launching a desktop GPU that would be a gaming card. I don't really see them in that market. Their integrated graphics are okay, but they're it's not a scalable architecture as far as I understand it. So they would have to be developing entirely new IP, and that's not something that they have the rights to do a lot of the time. It'd be interesting to see them there, but I don't think they would get there. George, 1050 Ti, 1060, 1060 if you can afford it. Bear in mind the 3 gig is a slower card to the 6 gig. There is less CUDA cores on the 3 gig model than the 6 gig model. RJ 2700 stock cooler, Asus Vega 56 Strix, that's the one. So you can't get RAM above 3000 megahertz. Have you updated the BIOS, and are you using RAM that is in the verified vendor list for that motherboard? Like, is it a Ryzen kit, like Ryzen ready kit sticker on it, or was it stuff you already had? And also, what is the actual rating for the RAM? Is it 3000 megahertz RAM? Is it 3400? Is it 2800? Let me know. When it comes to tech, never say never. If you told me back when I was a Mac user that Apple's fortune would hinge on cell phones, I wouldn't have believed you. I mean, fair play. But yeah, it's not never. I just wouldn't expect to see that anytime soon, at least. But hey, they can color me wrong and they can send me some press samples. I think if Intel works on more things, things more with integrated, that HP will no longer need an NVIDIA contract. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I can see what you mean there. I think it's a lot to do with the die size. Those consumer chips are absolutely tiny, and so to fit now 6 cores in there, all of the cache you need to feed those 6 cores, and then a graphics die, you're really limited on space and TDP there. So yeah. Yeah, Ish and Dan, Linus did do a video on the Intel graphics card, which was basically the predecessor to the Xeon Phi. Yes, in theory you could stick a GPU, you could stick a DVI output or something on it, and it in theory could, with drivers, support that, but as I understand it, it really is a lot more designed as a general purpose processor that is meant to crunch through database tasks or whatever, rather than you know, actual display tech. And I don't know if it has things like shader engines and the capability to do rasterization. So yeah, AI, all of your data center heavy stuff. To go back to Kino Crypt, I watched J2 Sensen. He said November, December release time, new rumors today. So I mean, yes, but we've also had rumors for the last 6 months that they were going to announce it at GTC, which is a day or two before Computex, which is at the end of this month, start of next month. Hence what I said in my Should You Wait for Volta video in, I think, January. So yeah, not sure why Jay would say November, December. I doubt, I don't know that that's a very successful launch window. But hey, maybe he's right. Who knows? We'll find out the next month or so, or a couple of weeks actually. RJ, yep, everything's updated. Check the vendor list before I purchased. It's G-Skill 16 gig 3200 CAS 16 1838. It didn't have a Ryzen sticker on the box though. Okay, so it should be okay. Are you setting it with the sort of like XMP profile, or what's it called, JDEC profile, or are you setting it manually? Because you could try. I mean, Depends what you want timings wise, but you could try looser timings, higher clock speed, or just deal with, or you could even try tighter timings, but that 3000 MHz clock speed, because that will also be great for it. Dennis, custom gaming PC with 1080 Ti or pre-built gaming PC and moderate graphics with external 1080 Ti via Thunderbolt. So when you say pre-built compact gaming PC, do you mean in laptop form factor, or do you mean like something like I don't know, Gigabyte Bricks or Intel NUC with then something like the Aorus 1080 gaming box or 1080 Ti gaming box kind of thing? I would personally say that there are some performance overheads even with Thunderbolt and external boxes, so I would say just a decent gaming PC, mostly because you'll likely get better overall things like CPU performance along with GPU performance, and potentially better cooling for everything as well, and less of a janky setup, but up to you. Yeah, ish, I agree. I'm going back to ZX Spectrum, all getting way too complicated. See, for someone like me, the ZX Spectrum is more complicated. Fails to post his XMP profile, manual or auto. Okay. Yeah, are you able to, so I would set the cast timings to the ones in the box and then try it at 3000 MHz with I would guess it's probably a 1.35 volt kit, but check on it. If it's not working at that, try upping the voltage to 1.35, or if you risk it, 1.4. And if you can get it to work at any point, try bringing the timings in as well. So like 14, 16, 16, 16, 36, I think. Everything down by 2. But check timings anyway, and see what it has to offer. RootX, the reason he's saying oh no ZX Spectrum is because for his university dissertation in computer science, he's been writing a display emulator for the ZX Spectrum. Would you give out free 1180s when they're released like you did with 1080 Ti's? Lol and ha 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 ha, you wish. Is it an Asus board? They take ages for new BIOS updates. They do take a little while, yeah. John's Memes, hello. Is a 780 better than a 1050 Ti? Now that's a question. It will have a good bit higher power consumption, but 780 is only 2 generations old. So it's probably fairly close, but yeah, it should be better. I think if you said 680, I might have said it might be pretty close, like real close, but I'm pretty sure 780, yeah, you just have a good bit higher power consumption. Dan. Ram and Sam, Asus have been really good with Ryzen BIOS updates. Interesting. I have the Crosshair 6 Hero, and I should really update the BIOS more often. They should have a new Giza update for me, but it's working fine, so that's nice. I still do want to update it relatively soon though, because I've had a few issues. Hopefully have been resolved. 780 is better, just the power hog. Yeah. Had a Commodore 64 and 1282 too. Nice. First PC was a Pentium 3, so there you TechteamGB came out of beta, the last one, at the start of this month. Okay, cool. I will update that later on. Mega 500 for the win. Wow, you're older than me. 680 is still slightly faster than a 1050 Ti generally. Okay, cool. Kev's just bought the Commodore 64 Mini. Nice. I had to wait 4 months for my latest Asus Corsair 6 BIOS update to get out of beta. Fair play, man. Forget the BBC Micro B. So instead of talking about new tech, we're talking about really old tech. Nice. Huh. That's cool. Does everyone know who Dan Bull is here? Because he just replied to me on Le Twitter, and now I feel all famous. BBC Basic is not fun. Starting with the Commodore 16. Jeez. IBM. Retro. Anyone want a game of Joust? You know that roundabout in. Dan Bull is a YouTube creator who does raps about gaming, and no, not like, you know, food raps, like, you know, rap songs. And he does a good job. I very much enjoyed his initial and then recurring Overwatch raps. I think that's his favorite game, and he did a collaboration with iDubbbz for Battlefield 1 versus whatever, I think it was called Infinity Warfare, which was good fun. I could go a rap now you mention it. I know the feeling. Dang, whenever you get the copper key. Ah, dear. Speaking of motorcycles, I'm buying one tomorrow. So yeah, that should be fun. Where's it was Peter Mac last week. That reminds me, you need to wrap up. Stop it. Yeah, I passed the CBT on Saturday, yeah, and I've started A2 lessons. Being 21, I can't do the full A license, but I can get basically any bike anyway, so yeah. No, I'm not going for 125. I'm actually I'm doing lessons, so I had a full lesson today where I rode 125 for about an hour just to get used to it, and then I rode a restricted 700 Yamaha RTO7. So kind of getting used to the sort of 700cc style, and the bike that I'm looking to purchase is the Suzuki SV650S. He's buying a Dodge Tomahawk. Oh boy. Yeah, no. Yeah, the SV650S is about 71 to 72 horsepower, which should be pretty decent for use stabilizers. I'm actually, it's funny because the one bit that I'm not quite as handy on bikes is turning, just because, well, I'm perfectly handy on a BMX or whatever. Turning those sorts of things is a lot more daunting. Always wanted a Triumph Bonneville, realised Aberdeen isn't the 1950s. Maybe if I moved to Dundee though. Hey, Dundee has some good universities making game design courses, alright? There is actually a Triumph dealer that I went in that's right next to the more independent bike shop that has the one that I want in it. And I was looking at the Triumph Bonneville, not to buy, but just physically looking at it, and it really does look like a 1950s bike. There's a few race spec ones that have the single headlight within the like combed swept I'm gonna allow that. Oh cool. I'm guessing that Ish handled that. Cool. Thanks Ish. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying, but oh yeah, the swept headlight grille that rides into the screen. So yeah, I need Jensen Huang's leather jacket. I know, right? He always has nice jackets. Matsiax, should I be riding motorbikes? Well, the thing is, right, so I spend a lot of time in pain. Life can be generally really miserable, especially with the combination of pain and sickness from the stomach problems. And so the way that I look at it is, yes, it's much more dangerous and I'm much more likely to die on a motorbike than driving my car. But what's the point in living if I'm not having fun and not enjoying myself? And the thrill that I get from riding motorbikes is so much. For me, it's worth it to incur that risk, and I would much rather enjoy myself, and especially with the amount of pain that I'm in most days, I'd much rather have that offset of, yeah, okay, it's more risky, but you know, I already have two incurable diseases at 21. I would rather be flying around at whatever speed on a motorbike, having a whale of a time, than you know, sitting in this chair and well, yeah, rocking back and forward in pain. So yeah. My mate has no feeling in his foot but still drives a car. Which foot? He's actually good with the clutch. Interesting. The wind in your face at 25 miles an hour is so nice. It's not too bad, but I generally have visor down, so... yeah, I have done a cost-benefit analysis. I do. I have that kind of affliction of far too much logic. So, yeah. You need to add some garnish, pointless RGB to your bike, even temporarily, just to see the reaction. So I'll get Corsair right on that. Get a Node Pro or Commander unit to hook up to the bikes for some underglows, yeah. Oh dear, it's a nice bright blue actually. The one that I'm getting. Alexa RGB controller on the bike. Yeah, I'll just stick some Philips Hue light bulbs on there, so it's fine. Along with electric controlled steering. Oh god. Alexa, make me look like a there's your best video RGB pet. Left foot, he was born with something wrong with him, has a hole in his back and limp for 5 years. He was in a wheelchair and I think he might be in one when he gets around. He's 40, so living life to the fullest. Oh, fair play to him, man. That's kind of interesting that he is actually decent with the clutch, with having no feeling in it, but I suppose a lot of the time it isn't just about the feel through the pedal, it's also feel through the steering wheel and the motion of the car. So, and you know, you can also just generally get to know the biting point of your vehicle, and obviously just yeah. Not riding a bike in a kilt. No, I will. I'll give that one a pass. And the sound of the engine, yeah. I mean, if right foot, you're gonna, that's your accelerator anyway, so that's what you'd feel anyway. Were you gonna keep the bike out the back? Out kilt aircon, one of life's simplest pleasures. Said like a true Scotsman. TX, I'm not talking about normal risks, more Andrew level risks. That's got to be like magnitudes more. I'm also spasm at the wrong time. It's not really spasms. It's more pain. And as I've said to a few people, pain is something that you can always deal with. It's very, very rare that pain actually fully stops you from doing something. So like the reason that I use a wheelchair on a semi-regular basis isn't that my legs aren't capable of walking anymore because of the pain. It's because it is less painful for me to travel around in that than it is to travel around in just by still walking but incurring more pain. But I can still walk, and if I need to, I can. It's the same with like driving my car. I do get pain in my legs relatively often, and obviously I do get that while driving as well. But there should be no point where I am physically incapable of operating the vehicle safely. And so the same should be said for the bike. I did notice that my hands hurt a considerable bit after the 700cc ride today, but that may just be the arthritis in the hands. The arthritis is everywhere, but so. Yeah, is there any other tech stuff that's happened this week? I can't remember. I've been reviewing laptops and SSDs, and arranging 400 collections and visiting doctors and riding motorcycles. So, yeah, I've been up to a fair bit. Wapted, yes, thanks, Wapted. Have you got a GIF? If you become single again, you may power through that pain once again. I do, and I don't expect to be single at any point. PvP gamers, hello, how you doing? ITX, seems like a slow tech week to me, nothing much exciting happened. Yeah, I'm in the old, what you call it, Computex is kind of around the corner, so all of those sort of releases tend to stop about now. And yeah, then all flood out with Computex, which sadly I won't be going because money and cripple. Fair play, Wapted. F7. Oh yeah, I did see the rumor about the 3 gig 1050. Although I didn't know that I had a 64-bit bus. That's kinda tiny. I'd expect 128, but I don't really see what I need for a 1050 3 gig because they already have the 2 and the 2 and the 4. But whatever. Did you do Intel 10 nanometer? They finally got it. I know they've been having production problems while AMD is currently sampling 7 nanometer parts. Although, as I understand it, it's 7 nanometer asterisk, and so while on paper, in theory, AMD should have the advantage there, being 7 versus 10. I don't know whether it's actually going to be a significant difference, say performance-wise, if you like. Cheapest to make. Okay, I mean potentially, yeah. Apparently Windows doesn't like Intel's SSD 600s. Which ones do you mean? Because I have 2 600p NVMe drives, the M.2 ones, in systems right now, or at least one of them. I think I might have lost one. Can't remember what PC I put it in or whatever. But yeah, I've got one of those hanging about in the underdesk PC, and it's perfectly fine. So not sure what's wrong with that. Dan, do you know what we're doing when we get to sub 5 nanometers? So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of kind of research on that, and I'm sure that both Intel and AMD, and therefore people like GlobalFoundries and TSMC, are spending a lot of money on that and what we can use. My understanding was that a lot of people were putting a lot of faith in carbon nanotubes, but I'm not really sure, and I think we're probably, as Wapsid is alluding to, we're likely going to get to the 7 to 5 nanometer point, and then it will just be a case of continual iteration on the actual design front, rather than on the architecture front, rather than on the process node front, until we get something. So yeah, not too sure. Starman, lasers could make computers 1,000,000 times faster according to the Life Science website. It kind of depends on how you can do any processing with that. So I would say skeptical is what I would say I am, but yeah, could be interesting. We'll just see where it goes. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, basically after 5 nanometers, the process node is so small that electrons can quantum tunnel between transistors, or through transistors. So turning a 1 to a 0 or a 0 to a 1, just because of how small the gap is, and also they can also jump just purely because of, say, the voltage you set the chip at. So electron migration, I believe, is the term. So a simple laser pen directed at the IHS enables 6 orders of magnitude greater speeds. Dear. Arsis i3 7100, Asus 1052 gig, 8 gig of RAM, 1 terabyte, upload speed 2 megabits. Can I stream? Depends what game you're streaming. Probably on low 720p 30 FPS, maybe. I would, if you're gonna stream, I would probably say use the what you call it, the NVENC encoder. Martin, I have, unless they've changed it at all, I don't see the use for it for me, because I don't see the use for it for me because it requires code to be on a website, and then that when you click on the link, it calls that code to work out what country you're in, but you can't do that on YouTube, so don't care. No, Wapted, I wasn't referring to quantum tunneling as electron migration. I was referring to you can have electron migration caused by quantum tunneling, and or you can have electron migration caused by the process node size being too small and the voltage you're applying to the chip being too high, allowing for too much of a potential difference between the 2 points in the transistor, and therefore it just jumps over the NPN or PNP, I can't remember what it is in normal transistors, but jumps through the transistor without the transistor actually being fed open. PHP? No. Apparently YouTube Red, I think is what you mean, Ish, is in the apparently on its way to the UK, although not in the UK yet. So yeah. Okay, Martin. That must be a change, because it was working in the UK if you could put code on your site, but fair play. Butter King Zone, hello, how you doing? So yeah, if you didn't see on Twitter, my PC just blue screened, said it had a kernel error and took the 3 minutes to restart. So yeah, thanks PC. Yeah, no, it's not an unstable overclock. It's been stable for like since I've had Ryzen. But yeah, it just like that's the first blue screen I've had on this computer in ages, and it just for some reason apparently I had an unhandled kernel error or something. Crapped out on me. Good times. It's probably just a sign that I really needed to restart my computer, since it hadn't been turned off in like a month because of bugs in Windows, and I also have updated the BIOS in months as well, so I should probably do that. Oh dear. Tech Team Scotland. Thanks, guys. Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good. Quantum wormhole. Did I miss anything? Oh, okay. I didn't miss anything that important. Interesting, Aaron. Ryzen is okay though, I pray. Hello, ET. I'm basically only back because I blue screened and wanted to say bye properly. So yeah. As Ish says, thanks Microsoft. Yes, Ish, you're totally right. But yeah. God damn it, Mac. Oh dear. Right, so with that horrific ending, I'ma call it there. Right, I'll see y'all next week. Stick around for tomorrow's really nice headsets headset review in ears. A QNAP NAS and some streaming videos about Fortnite, because why not? Yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. Nice to kick it with me, and we'll see you all next week.